Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop Simping in the Workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere. Should an opinion be a reason to terminate someone's employment or not consider someone for employment? When I look at today's job market, it seems like anything someone posts online, says in a video, or says outside can and will be used against them to not consider them for employment or to terminate their employment. And I think about that whole approach, and it shows me how thin skinned many employers are. And it's one of the reasons why American business has struggled for the last couple of years is that we have a lot of thin-skinned people who believe in the whole concept of monolithic thought because that's what you believe when you don't want to listen to different opinions and different viewpoints. And when you don't want to listen to different opinions and different viewpoints, what happens is your business winds up stagnating. Now, a lot of employers these days go and they do Google searches on possible candidates for employment and even people who are working for them. And when they see information that they don't like, they either reject that person for consideration for employment or they call the person in to terminate their employment. And to me, that's un-American because under the Constitution of these United States, people are guaranteed the right to freedom of speech and freedom of expression by the First Amendment. And because someone sees an opinion that they don't like or a viewpoint that they don't like, should not be a reason to deny someone access to employment or an opportunity at employment at an organization. And an organization, as I see it, that would go out of their way to deny somebody employment all because they have a difference of opinion is not going to be an organization that's going to be around for much longer. When the reason why they won't be around for much longer is because they do not regard differences of opinion as something positive. Because differences of opinion are incredibly something positive because when you have a difference of opinion, what happens is you can get a different perspective on things. And from that different perspective, you can find new approaches to business and new markets to business. Because someone is critical of a company or a product is not a bad thing. What happens is when you hear the criticism, there is something constructive in it that you can use towards expanding your business or reaching new customers in new businesses or new directions. So I always see expressing a difference of opinion as a good thing because expressing a difference of opinion can lead to businesses growing. But when you have thin-skinned employers who will read something in a blog post or a Facebook wall or a YouTube video and they're getting all in their feelings regarding what that person has posted, that shows me that this employer or this manager has no real vision outside of what they're feeling regarding your business. Because an objective business person is going to say, I'm going to judge this person based on really the foundation of what the criteria they propose in their resume about what they have to offer. And I'm going to really table a lot of their personal viewpoints because that may not really be who they are on the job because people are professional on the job and what they do in their personal life usually does not seep into the job unless it's something like a person talking about promoting violence or promoting criminal activity. Those are the two criteria I would use as a grounds for dismissal if that person was promoting criminal activity in their personal lives or promoting violence against a certain group in their personal life. A person having a different philosophy towards life, like a MGTOW lifestyle, would not be a grounds for dismissal as I saw it from a business perspective, because a person could have that philosophy and be very professional in the workplace, and it's how they behave on the job that should be the most important thing, because how a person performs on the job should be about what they're looking for, not really what they post on a blog post or on a Facebook wall because when I look at people and their criteria for judging that types of media, it's often very subjective because a man could post MGTOW philosophies on a blog or a Facebook wall or a YouTube video, and he'll be punished for that. However, a woman will go out of her way to post scantily clad pictures of herself on Instagram or Facebook wall, and no one wants to call her out for that. Or she'll post radical feminist ideologies on a Facebook wall or a blog post, and no one will hold her to that standard and say, you posting these feminist ideologies or these social justice warrior ideologies is a grounds for your termination. And again, this is one of the reasons why I have an issue with people Google searching for possible candidates and then using the information against them, is because they're very subjective about it. And what they're looking for when they judge by that criteria, again, is monolithic thought. And you're never going to get monolithic thought because God gave every human being on this planet free will. And while you're supposed to be looking for so-called professionalism, what you're really looking for is that whole concept of monolithic thought. And monolithic thought is destructive to a business because if everybody is thinking the same or is walking on eggshells and agreeing with people just to keep things smooth, you're not going to be able to expand a business or grow a business, because a business, its whole foundation is based on conflict, and it's based on how people resolve conflict in constructive manners. That's all a business is. It's an organization which provides goods and services to people, and how it provides those goods and services to people is by resolving conflict not only outside of the organization but in the organization. And when you have people who are too afraid to express their opinions, you're not going to be able to reach new audiences, and you're not going to be able to grow your business. And I look at employers who want to go Google searching people to find information to dig up dirt. They don't know that they're just digging their own graves, because you're going to wind up weeding out people who may possibly be the kind of people who wind up opening up your business to new marketplaces, new audiences, and new customers. Because when you are in business, yes, people have to be professional, but what people do in their personal lives, unless it's something like promoting a hate group or promoting violence against a certain group of people, it should not really reflect on your business at all. I mean, if that person has differences of opinion, then that's just how it is, because that's all about diversity. You're going to have diverse opinions, diverse viewpoints, and it should not be used against people because they express themselves in a certain way. And when I look at today's business world, we have some employers who are so insecure. What they want to do is they want access to your Facebook. They want you to give them the password to your Facebook. They want access to all of your social media, but they only judge people who fit their politics. And an example of this is what I saw at Marvel Comics with several of their editors, several of their writers, and several of their artists. They are literally online every day, cursing out comic fans, castigating comic fans, and berating comic fans, but no one uses the information they post online against them. No editors call them into their offices to hold them accountable, but a potential candidate, they will go and tell them that they can't work for them because their ideas regarding politics and other issues does not reflect their narrative. And again, when you use information like that in a subjective manner, you're not going to be able to find people who will help you actualize your potential and move your business forward. What you're going to do is wind up weeding out a lot of talented people with a lot of passion and heart who could help you expand things because they're presenting things from a different perspective. And again, different perspectives and differences of opinion are good for business, because when you get differences of opinion and different viewpoints, that allows you to see things from different perspectives, and it allows your organization to grow. But most people these days, they don't want to hear differences of opinion. What they want to do is hear people who have the same opinion as they do. And again, that's not good for your business. What's good for business is hearing differences of opinion, hearing different viewpoints and listening to what somebody says, because instead of using that information that you're going to use against them, you need to see how that information can be used for you for expanding your business. Because when somebody is presenting a difference of opinion, there's information there that can be mined that can help you take yourself to the next level. Not everybody is going to agree with you in business, and those who are professional understand that yes, this person may be expressing a difference of opinion, but they may be very professional when they're on the job, and that's what the criteria you really need to judge them by when they're on the job. Because a lot of people, they do these Google searches, they see things that they don't like regarding men, and they judge the men by one standard, and then they judge the women by a completely different standard and give them a complete pass for unprofessional behavior. And that's what I saw with Marvel Comics, and that's what I'm seeing in many other businesses. And it's really sad that people don't see how subjective they're being. Now, when I present information online, yes, I have presented controversial material like the Why Real Men Avoid Single Mothers blog and the Way Single Mothers Destroy Their Sons blog, but it was not meant to be destructive towards any group of women. It was meant to educate both men and women about why men don't want relationships with single mothers, or how these boys wind up being destroyed by being in these single mother households. The information there was meant to help people, but some people, because they have very thin skin, they would look at that information and then try to use it against me. But as I see it, I'm just going to be open and transparent, and I'm going to leave that information up there because it's been up there for years, and there's nothing I can really do about somebody's viewpoint of it. All I can do is put the information up there and leave it up there and just say I will stand behind it, because I know what I presented in those blogs to be true, and I know what I presented in many of my men's issues blogs and videos to be true. And any smart employer will look at that information and say, this person has presented a well thought out argument on these subjects. This person has presented facts about a subject, and this is the criteria I'm going to judge it by, instead of getting in their feelings and saying, oh, he's presenting these points and it's offending me. They'll look at the points and say, from a professional standpoint, this person has presented a thought-provoking argument on why men aren't involved with single mothers, or the way these approaches to raising boys is leading to these boys in single mothers households becoming extremely dysfunctional. And I've had people read those types of blogs that I've posted regarding men's issues, and some people who are more on the intellectual side, they really saw the positives of it. But there are some employers out there, they'll read that same information and they'll get extremely offended. But there's nothing I can do about that, because as I see it, if I have the integrity to leave this up there, that shows more about my character than going out here to, delete that information and try to hide it. I would rather just be transparent, present the information to you, and leave it up there, and have the integrity to stand by that information, rather than just hide that information. Because if I look at it this way, if it's out there, it's out there. And with several of these blogs, there's nothing I can do about it. Several of these videos, they have gone all over the world. And as I see it, if an employer wants to try to use information like that against you, a person like myself, it really shows how limited their vision is, how limited their scope is. And it shows that this is a person who doesn't understand that you need differences of opinion in order to grow a business effectively. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this and more videos about men's issues, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct Men's Issues books like the Simp series, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.